Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So the Trump administration has launched an investigation into Minnesota's Department of Education over these transgender dolls that have been circulating on the internet. And if you go to the website that organizes this initiative, it's confirmed that there are transgender dolls that have been designed, and the website itself says it is targeted towards children as young as 4 years old. It's targeted towards gender diverse children. Apparently, that's a thing. Never heard of such a thing before in my life, but they're now claiming that we have gender diverse children and that these dolls are going to help them be comfortable with who they are. So it was 5 Eyewitness News that highlighted the University of Minnesota Gender Dolls program. And just the day after, it was announced that there's going to be an investigation into the Minnesota's Department of Education after a complaint was made by a non-profit conservative group called Defending Education. A Fox News report was also cited. So this project actually won an Early Innovation Fund grant in 2023. It's unclear exactly how much money the grant was worth and if the program received any additional funding. So Eyewitness News reached out to My Gender Dolls, which is the name of the project, and they are claiming that this is not a state project. Tim Walz's office claims to also not be involved, according to a spokesperson.
These are My Gender Dolls. It's a project from the Eli Coleman Institute for Sexual and Gender Health at the University of Minnesota. According to the website, these paper dolls are, quote, built to help children tell their stories and see themselves represented, and are designed for the clinicians and educators who show up for these kids every day. The only part of the website currently active is the wait list. The website does not say when the dolls would be available to the public. We do know that in the spring of 2023, the project, run by Diane Berg and G. Nick Ryder, won an Early Innovation Fund grant. According to the university's website, those are grants up to $10,000 available to short-term projects at the university that advance early-stage innovations. The money comes from the sale of technology the university helped develop. It's unclear how much total money the project got. But will these paper dolls be in your child's school?
Hi, this is Pilar Pedraza with KSTP.
Not from what we learned.
I'm just doing a quick survey of...
I called the 19 largest school districts in the 7 counties that make up the Twin Cities metro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
6 got back to us. None had heard of the My Gender Dolls project, and none plan to use it. We also reached out to the Minnesota Department of Education, which said this isn't its program, and sent us back to the university. And would it be given to children as young as 4? Well, the website says the dolls are a, quote, first-of-their-kind therapeutic play approach designed for gender-diverse children ages 4 to 10. Finally, we reached out to the governor's office, which told us in a text, Governor Walz has no connection to this program, and it's not being implemented by the state. And the researchers behind this program responded to our request for information late this afternoon with a statement saying that it will not be used in public schools or any schools, that the program is designed for licensed clinicians, people like psychologists who are already working with kids dealing with gender issues. It's designed to be used only in a therapeutic setting after they have had specialized training in how to use the paper dolls.
So they're saying that it's not going to be rolled out into public schools, even though the website did say that it was for educators. So of course it's reasonable to deduce from that it's going to be provided in an education setting, and it's going to be given to teachers. But the schools are saying they've not heard of the program and it's not something they are planning on implementing anytime soon. So that's good. But I'm curious to see what comes of this investigation, because it doesn't appear that the website is active now, or at least not all aspects of the website. So why is that the case? Why does there seem to be some secrecy behind this program? They don't seem to be forthcoming with information. And they're saying that it's for clinicians only, so-called clinicians who are probably, have a part to play in indoctrinating children and grooming children and conditioning them to believe they were born in the wrong body. So-called clinicians who play a role in confusing children and asserting the lie that they can change their sex. I don't care if they call it sex or gender, that is what they are asserting. That it's the child who decides what sex she is or what sex he is. And the reason these dolls have interchangeable genitalia, from what I've seen, is because they want to reinforce the message, their message, that the genitalia doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you're born with. You can decide. Again, clinicians should know more than anybody that that is a lie. So whether they are rolled out into schools, and I really pray that that does not happen, because they love to deny things, and then suddenly the very thing that they denied doesn't happen or wasn't going to happen is happening before our eyes. Whether it's for schools or whether it's behind closed doors, at the hands of a clinician. What we can conclude is that these dolls were created as tools to assist the indoctrination of children. That's my opinion, and that's what I'm seeing. These dolls have been created to play a role in that. These dolls appear to play a role in reinforcing mental health struggles rather than treating mental health struggles.
And yet, actually, that puberty blockers prevent breast development in transgender boys.
Her perfectly healthy breast on a girl who needs her.
Well, you're again misgendering every single transgender boy out there.
I am so frustrated. It's 12:59 because I just wanted to ask you, whether if a troubled child came to you as a doctor with anorexia, believing she was too fat, would you affirm that and help her lose more weight?
Are you really asking that?
Yeah, it's the same thing. A child that thinks they're the wrong sex, or a child that thinks they're overweight.
You shouldn't get too involved in medicine because of the harm you cause to people who listen.
I think, and I mean this very respectfully, I think people like you should be in prison.
When in order for that child to even have that in their mind, that they were born in the wrong body, more than likely an adult, somewhere along the line, introduced them to that concept, when the fact is they are either male or female. There's no gender diverse children.
Well, this fall, Minnesota Public Schools will reportedly debut these new transgender dolls for children as young as 4 years old. Get this, they have removable private parts that are included with the dolls.
The dolls have gender-neutral names like Sam and Rory and are part of a tax-funded program called My Gender Dolls, launched by the University of Minnesota's medical school professors.
Our next guest points out there was no vote on this by parents who were left in the dark. Moms for America President Kimberly Fletcher joins us now. Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us.
So according to Fox News, it is an education program designed to be rolled out into Minnesota public schools. It is publicly funded. So again, it's up for us to decide which is true. I guess time will tell. But I find it interesting that after the backlash and an investigation, suddenly, it's not a state-funded program. It's not, to be rolled out into schools. The website seems to be shut down, except for certain pages. I find that interesting.
What do you say about this?
I think that the first thing that we should notice is that in your story itself, you have to have big X's covering those genitalias, but they're going to be shoving it in our children's schools at 4 years old. Why can we not show it on public TV, but we call it curriculum and throw it on our children? These kids are 4, 6, 7. They're learning to tie their shoes, share crayons. They are not ready for these kinds of conversations.
Of course not. Kimberly, this is robbing these children of their innocence. And I guarantee there's not a lot of parents, maybe there'll be a few who find out and opt out. But this was all meant to be done under the table without parents, because no parents, left or right, really want this. Right. Only crazy parents do.
So again, according to Fox News, obviously I know they have their biases and that kind of thing, like the mainstream media does. They're saying that it was meant to be done under the table. And based on past behavior from such organizations who do these sort of things, they tell us that this isn't going to happen, and then we find out that it is happening. So this wouldn't surprise me at all if this is what we're dealing with here, something that they meant to roll out quietly.
Let's talk about the medical school professors who are behind this, because that's troubling in and of itself when you have medical professors who don't understand biological reality. And why are they pushing this on the schools?
Well, I wonder how many of them actually don't understand the actual science of it, and how many are just pushing an agenda for money. And it's really always comes down to the money. And infusing these ideas into children at a young age to confuse them. And if you start to follow the money, I mean, this was put in a campus, a college university for 5 years. And I will say that there are some completely incompatible, it's incompatible with education. The people who are called educators who are putting this together, hiding it in a university, and then slipping it into the schools. And if it isn't for us out there looking for this stuff all the time, then parents wouldn't know. There's no opt out, and I think they need to start requiring opt in. If you think that my children at 4, 5, 6, 7 years old should see this, should be playing with genitalia, should be groomed for sex, then you come and tell me, and I'll decide whether or not I want them to do that. Of course, you're right.
About hard no matter what.
Wants to have this.
You make a really important point about the amount of money that is involved in all of this transgender stuff. It's all these people are driven by money as well as ideology, but also money.
Yeah, sometimes I forget about that aspect, but I think it's very important to remember. A lot of the time, that's what it comes down to, especially when you can have a patient for life. The money they're receiving, the funding they are receiving, the insurance money they're receiving. You can't tell me that there isn't a financial incentive to all of this as well. And then we just happen to be kept in the dark about how much they received in 2023.
If you're a parent in Minnesota, if you're a parent of a school where this is going on, it is so frustrating because you feel absolutely powerless. Because in the first place, you can't even believe this is an actual real story. It is a real story. Talk to parents. Explain how they can organize, what they need to do in order to confront the demons that push this stuff.
First thing is that they do need to realize it is a true story. When the whole furries came out, I thought it was a Babylon Bee skit. I mean, the kind of craziness that they're pushing on our children. So parents are confused. They're upset and they're like, what do we do? Well, you need to go to the school board meetings. Absolutely. You need to talk to the teacher. And you need to start speaking out in every media outlet that you possibly have in your local community and continue to expose this. And the most important thing is unite with other parents. Share this information with them because they're not getting the information. They're not knowing that this is going on and they won't believe it. So you're going to have to take a picture and say, I'm sorry, this is it right here. It's a real story. Yeah. And then gather together and start fighting back by speaking out.
And hold the picture up at the school board meeting and watch them tell you you're not allowed to show it.
Yeah, you've got X's over the genitalia. Right. And we've had this happen so many times where we come and we start to read the books or we show the pictures and they call the police and say, you can't do that here. Good. I'm like, really? But you're going to put it in a classroom in front of an innocent child. I don't think so.
It is unbelievable. It's unbelievable to think that this is something that could possibly be allowed in public schools. But these dolls exist. They have designed these dolls for somebody. They clearly say it's for kids age 4 to 10. So whether those kids are funneled through, the medical system or through the schools, either way, we don't want kids being exposed to this. And what these media outlets do, what these politicians do, doctors, they downplay it and gaslight people and call it a conservative thing. Oh, this is just conservatives exaggerating again. This is just conservatives. I'll say it again. The thing that they said never happens has happened. We have seen it with our own eyes. They told you that they weren't doing cosmetic procedures, gender-affirming procedures on children. They laughed at conservatives who made those claims. And then we see girls who are in their teens who have had double mastectomies. In their teens, 15-year-olds, we see girls being given testosterone. They're giving puberty blockers to 9-year-olds, as if chemically castrating is any better than physically castrating. So these are the people who are targeting children. They work in the education system. They work for public office. They work in the medical field. So it's up to us to remain vigilant. So let me know what you think. Do you think perhaps nothing is going to come of this and we're worrying about nothing? Or do you think it's very possible before we know it, we are going to see these dolls in schools where they are attempting to normalize it. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video. And a huge thanks to all of those who have hyped my videos. It is greatly appreciated.